10 ways injury prevention can improve performance. Hey, I'm Sam from mostmotion, and I'm here back with another episode of how to hack injuries for every sports and fitness coach who really cares about improving all areas of health and fitness. Now, most coaches think of injury prevention as some kind of add-on or sideshow, if you will, like an afterthought from the main training, but that is a really big mistake. And here's 10 ways where your injury prevention can help improve your participants' performance and their lives in general. So the first one is to make money. Now, it might seem a bit weird that people can actually make money if you prevent their injuries, but if you're training people who have the talent to be competing at the top level in their sport, then injuries prevent them from winning. It stops them from winning, which might result in them losing out in prize money, sponsorship deals, speaking gigs after their professional life is over. If you can prevent injury for these people, you'll help them take advantage of these lucrative deals, and that means they can spend that money with you. So the second thing is to save them money. So even if your people aren't competing at the top level, carrying injuries is a really expensive business. So there's travel expenses to appointments, there's possibly childcare costs too that are associated with, having to leave the kids with someone while they go to an appointment. Then there's the cost of the treatment itself, including any ongoing maintenance treatment sessions and any peripherals that might go along with that, like special insoles or tape or some kind of pain-killing gel. All these little things, they mount up. And if you can prevent these injuries, you can save your participants a whole heap of cash that they can invest in better equipment for their sport, which will improve their performance. That way, they can pay for more training with you, training camps abroad, or whatever it is that they need to pay for to improve their performance. If you're saving them cash, they can afford to do that. So the third way is to save them time. And injuries create all sorts of extra little time sucks. Okay? There's obviously traveling time to and from appointments. There's the appointments themselves for therapy and scans and consultations and stuff like that. And then, of course, it takes much longer to warm up and recover from training as well. And it might even take longer to do simple daily tasks like getting dressed in the morning. How ridiculous is that? But pain can do that to people. So if you can prevent these injuries from happening, your participants get to spend less time dealing with their injury problems and more time on the things that they want to be doing. And that might mean that they can spend more time with their family, which improves their mental health, which improves their motivation, and improves their concentration when it comes to training or performance or something like that. So the fourth way is to avoid effort. Now, injuries create blockages in how our bodies move, okay, which means that your body needs to find a new way of doing the move that you're looking for. And these different movement patterns are simply the long way round, okay? And it doesn't matter how often you travel that long way round to get somewhere, it still takes more time and effort than it would to go the quickest way, okay? And by preventing injuries and removing these restrictions or blockages, we can make our participants' movement faster and more efficient, which means that they have extra effort to spend on their training. And in practice, this often means that they can do things like feel like they're training really easily, like they're not really putting much effort in, but they're training at speeds that are near their best, or they can just run for longer, or they can, they feel stronger, they can lift more weight, and it doesn't feel like as much effort. So we can really get huge performance gains by improving the efficiency of movement for our people. So the fifth way is to escape mental or physical pain. Now, it's pretty obvious that preventing injury means avoiding physical pain. But what you might not realize is that physical pain is really emotionally draining. And most people don't even notice that until the pain is gone. So the mental toll of anticipating pain with every single move, like from getting out of bed in the morning to standing up out of a chair, or expecting pain to kick in when you get to a certain point in your training, is really exhausting. And people who are in pain are constantly thinking about how to adapt movements so they can move, or they can do them without pain, which might be something as simple as putting your socks on or your shoes on, or something complex like a snatch in weightlifting. It really doesn't matter what the task is. The constant processing of alternative ways of moving is really draining. And if we can prevent these pains, you will help your people to avoid this mental strain, which will lift their mood, most likely their motivation as well. But if they're not having to expend effort doing that mental processing, they've got more effort to put into their training. So number 6 is to get more comfort. Now, low-level nagging pain is not only physically uncomfortable, but plays absolute havoc with your sleep as well. And people without pain don't think twice about turning over in bed. But anyone who's had any kind of chronic pain will know the feeling of dread and huge amounts of alertness that it takes to perform this simple task. So any pain, any numbness, any tingling, any physical discomfort of any kind wakes you up periodically in the night as well. And then it doesn't really matter how good your sleep routine is, you always wake up feeling tired. And feeling tired affects every part of life, including food choices. So people might be drinking more caffeine than is healthy for them because they're trying to stay awake all the time, and that might impact their sleep later on in the day because they've had too much stimulation from the caffeine. It might impact their motivation for training, their concentration at work or at training itself. It might impact their sociability. You know, if you have pain and you feel tired, you are irritable, and that pushes people away from you, even if you want to be around people, which is not very likely if you feel a bit grumpy. And of course, it obviously increases the likelihood of further injury because a lot of the injuries happen when people are tired. So the 7th way is to achieve greater cleanliness or hygiene to achieve better health. Now, this might seem a bit weird, but to those who have never experienced it, it can seem ridiculous that chronic or low-level pain can be unhygienic. But pain absolutely wears you down emotionally and can lead to bouts of depression as well. And during these stages, looking after yourself by doing simple daily tasks like cleaning your teeth or getting a shower or doing your hair can really feel like an immense amount of effort. And some ache or pain that started as something small can in many cases lead to addiction to painkillers and a gradual withdrawal from society as well. And by being able to prevent these aches and pains before they start, we can save our clients from years of distress and remove completely the risk of their pain ever causing this kind of suffering. Also means that they can continue to perform well, which will increase their mental health and obviously decrease the risk of this depression coming in the first place. So the 8th way is to gain praise. Now, without pain, our participants have far fewer barriers to their sporting success, which means they can challenge themselves to do more. So whether it's something that puts family and friends in awe of them, or to raise money for charitable organizations, achieving something that is physically challenging always draws praise from those around your people. And if they're injured, there's not much likelihood that they'll be able to do that. You know, injuries always seem to strike at the wrong moment. So it's, you know, just in the run up to the race itself, or, you know, mid challenge or something like that. Always injuries seem to create more problems than they need to. So number 9 is to feel more loved. And again, if you've never had chronic pain, you won't understand the torment of not being able to play with the children in your lives or the pets in your lives. But playing together is one of the most powerful ways to feel connected to your social group. And this creates deep bonds and memories that will last a lifetime, which can be severely limited by a simple bad back or knee. You know, if you've got a bad back and you have to sit on the sofa while your kids are playing on the floor, and that's the difference between, you know, dad or mom just being a separate part of their lives rather than getting down on the floor and playing horsey or, you know, something ridiculous like that. These kinds of things are memories that your kids will, you know, they will treasure forever. So it's just being able to do that gives your people a real sense of mental well-being and emotional well-being, and that can lead to increases in performance and increases, better choices when it comes to food and, training and looking after themselves and all this kind of thing. Because if they feel more loved in their family, they're much more likely to take rest, the rest days that we program for people and stuff like that. And that obviously can impact performance as well. So number 10, the last one, is to increase popularity or social status. And, injuries are brilliant at making people feel withdrawn, especially if your participant's social circle revolves around their group activities. So pain will stop them joining in the social bike ride at the weekend, with the tea and cake stop halfway round. It will stop them from playing a part in helping the team to win. And it can make people feel like they can't keep up. If they've had time away because of their injury, when they come back, they might feel like they're not good enough to join in with that group anymore, or they've lost that edge, or, something like that. It just makes them feel more isolated. And of course, the more someone says no to social invites, or they're deemed the person who's always injured, the less likely other people are to include them for fear of being held back or just rejected again. So hopefully you can see that having some little nagging ache or pain doesn't just impact your training session. It runs much, much deeper than that. And all of these things impact your client's ability to perform well. So I'm really not overstating things when I say that injury prevention is actually life-changing for people. And coaches are in a really prime position to do that. And with the SMART methods, we make it super, super easy. And I've outlined everything that you need to know inside of my book, The Coach's Guide to Long-Term Injury Prevention Success. You can go and grab that at mostmotion.com/book. It will outline everything that you can do as a coach so that you can help to prevent injury without having to spend ages doing mobility or going down the route of having to specialize. You just stay well within your coaching remit, well within your training session. Just keep feeding those injury prevention skills into what you're already doing so that you can help your people to overcome these problems and not have their performance influenced by these horrible little nagging injuries. So that's all we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you like this video, just click the likes and the hearts. And of course, if you like it so much, share it with your friends as well. I'm Sarah from Most Motion. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.